The first film was really kind of contained in this one building, and there was a certain sense of claustrophobia in that. This film is up in the air, in the airport, outside the airport, out on the the runway. It's just expanded a lot more. The snow actually turned out to be one of the characters in the film. We had to move 3 or 4 times we had to kind of chase the snow. That was really, the challenge for us, was to see whether or not we could match or top what we did in this huge action film called, Die Hard. And I think we've surpassed that.
It really just goes to your stomach and pulls you into it.
You're not quite sure who's wearing the black hat or the white hat.
Just like cowboys and Indians, modern day cowboys and Indians.
I thought the first Die Hard was one of the hardest things I'd ever tried to do. But then I realized when I got into this one that the first one was a piece of cake.
How can the same thing happen to the same guy twice?
I am once again in a place that happens to be taken over by terrorists.
Instrument landing system is down.
Backup systems won't come up. We've got blizzard conditions. Zero visibility.
Every system's dead.
These guys shut us down.
We just about maybe 2 hours. After that, those planes low on fuel aren't going to be circling. They're going to be dropping on the White House lawn.
It really closely parallels the whole, Manuel Noriega thing.
You got the world's biggest drug dealer on his way here now. What do you need, a slide rule to figure this out?
He wants to take charge of the situation. He wants to handle things his own way.
Who the hell is this?
Who I am is unimportant. What I want is very important.
We don't need a loose cannon on this deck.
He got this great twinkle in his eye.
Oh, we are just up to our neck in terrorists again, John.
You're the wrong guy in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Story of my life.
He's not bound by any of the red tape or the badges or the clearances.
You get the hell out of my office before I throw you out of my damn airport.
This is how I spent Christmas last year.
Same old cranky guy. Well, one of the things that we tried to do in both these films is present a character that is not invincible, that is vulnerable, both physically and emotionally.
Your wife's plane, they're going to run out of fuel in 90 minutes.
What are you gonna do? Whatever I can.
Bruce Willis wants to do his stunts himself, and sometimes Charlie and I have to calm him down and tell him not to do them because we want to keep him alive and well so that we can shoot also the following day.
We have a scene where we actually fly a real helicopter over the wing of a real 747, and I jump out of it onto the wing, and we proceed to have a huge fight with 2 different guys on the wing of a moving 747. I don't think that's ever been done. There's only one way to really make it look like you're trying to kill someone, and that is to try and kill them. Die Hard 2, Die Harder. Bigger, badder, louder.
Is this what you expected?
No, this is just the beginning.
We were in some high altitude. It's 12 degrees or worse below zero. You don't work fast in cold weather.
It's been a very tough movie in a sense that there's a snowstorm going on in the movie all the time. Whenever we are outside, we have to have the whole nature blanketed with snow and snow in the air.
The movie has a lot of big sets. When you're dealing in the scale of an airport, every set seems to become enormous.
It really just goes to your stomach and pulls you into it.
You're not quite sure who's wearing the black hat or the white hat.
Just like cowboys and Indians, modern day cowboys and Indians.
I thought the first Die Hard was one of the hardest things I'd ever tried to do. But then I realized when I got into this one that the first one was a piece of cake.
Christmas in LA, a strange way to spend the holiday season. You might remember John McClane. He celebrated with a bang. Die Hard made Bruce Willis an international movie star.
You are most troublesome for a security guard.
Sorry, wrong guess, Hans. Would you like to go for double jeopardy?
Only John can drive somebody that crazy.
It grossed over $200 million worldwide.
They have already killed one hostage.
This channel is reserved for emergency calls only.
Lady, do I sound like I'm ordering a pizza?
But most importantly, it blew audiences through the back wall of the theater.
Yippee-ki-yay, mother.
That was really, the challenge for us, was to see whether or not we could match or top what we did in this huge action film called, Die Hard.
The challenge seemed overwhelming and devastatingly difficult to accomplish. You just have to die harder.
318 take 4,
Die harder. Sound impossible? It almost was. The story of the making of Die Hard 2 is a saga almost as exciting as the movie itself. In the next half hour, we'll show you why.
Is what you expected?
No. This is just the beginning.
It's another year, another place, another Christmas. But it's the same old John McClane.
Cut me some slack, will you? Look, I used to be a cop in New York City. I only moved to L.A. because my wife took a job there. Come on, what do you say?
Thanks over here.
Come on, man, it's Christmas.
So where's Santa Claus to give you another car? Merry Christmas, pal.
This time he's in Washington, D.C.
It's all yours, Murray.
Waiting at the airport for his wife to fly in so they can spend Christmas with the in-laws.
Listen, honey, when you land, can we just rent a car, check into a hotel, we'll leave the kids with your parents, order some room service, a bottle of champagne. What do you say?
You're on, Lieutenant.
It was going to be the perfect holiday until a group of former U.S. Army commandos turned mercenaries arrive at the airport to launch a diabolical attack.
Was tight today at Escalon Airport in the Republic of Valverde.
Their mission, to free a deposed military strongman heading to stand trial in America.
Fire it up.
Yeah. I hear you. The problem's all over.
What's it look like?
Approach control, it's gone.
Instrument landing system is down.
Attention Dulles Tower. Who I am is unimportant. What I want? Well, if you don't want those planes to start splashing into the Potomac as they run out of fuel, what I want is very important.
Your wife's plane? Well, they're still broadcasting, even though we can't answer. They're going to run out of fuel in 90 minutes.
And once again, a vacationing John McClane is forced into action. But this new turn of events leaves the sharpshooting L.A. cop pondering one inescapable question.
How can the same thing happen to the same guy twice?
If at times the odds confronting John McClane seem almost insurmountable,
We are just up to our neck in terrorists again, John.
the challenge confronting the crew of Die Hard 2 was only slightly less Herculean. The first, and perhaps the most pervasive challenge they faced, was the not-so-simple matter of the cold.
Okay, let's go.
This is logistically probably one of the hardest films that has ever been made here.
Keep moving around, folks. Keep moving around.
We've been averaging 10 degrees below, 15 below zero for a lot of nights now. It's just cold out here. The crew has worked incredibly hard on this thing under probably the most adverse conditions that anybody's ever worked under.
It's a very serious situation.
It was so cold up in Denver that everybody bought these huge Arctic space suits, and the result was that nobody could tell who is who because everybody just looked like these mummies walking around.
Our director, Rennie Harlan, is from Finland, so he's used to the cold. He just keeps working along, and the rest of us are trying to get used to it.
I think for the crew it was much tougher because they are all Southern California wimps and they couldn't take it.
Let's just go right away, real fast, one more time.
Okay, resetting. It's a snow.
A snowy blizzard is an integral part of the Die Hard 2 story. And that means every time we're outside, every time we look outside, every time we even think about outside, it's got to be a blizzard. But finding cold weather didn't necessarily mean finding snow.
And sometimes the snow would just melt the moment we start shooting. We would land there, put our cameras up, and the snow will melt.
Cameras don't roll until I tell you, okay? I gotta wait for the snow to get here.
The snow actually turned out to be one of the characters in the film, and we had to move 3 or 4 times to actually, we had to kind of chase the snow.
I think it was easier to invade Normandy than it is to get this thing shot.
All right. Just stay here and get ready to call the Marines.
I thought they were the Army. Right outside the snow! Okay, open the doors, please, for a second. Open the doors.
Major Grant, we're blue light.
Rollins, Department of Justice.
Trudeau, Chief of Air Operations.
Lorenzo, Terminal Police. You want something? You got it.
Bozo, in charge of the clowns.
Hey, what's happening, Bozo? I ain't seen you since Whitman Brothers,
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Finally, when temperatures rose and the last snow melted, the need for on-screen flakes didn't dissolve with it.
We had Fox Studio buy for us a rather large ice chipping machine that chews up 300-pound blocks of ice in seconds. And we must have had a dozen 40-foot trailers loaded with 300-pound blocks of ice.
Spread out.
And as the 40-foot trailer moved along, the guys were holding on to that hose and we were blowing chipped ice.
With weather conditions worsening, the problem here and in the sky above us will continue to grow.
Warm outdoor weather and large indoor sets required an avalanche of artificial snow. Concerned about the environment, the producers insisted that these flakes be biodegradable.
We used various types of plastic snow. We used foam, we call it JetX system to do. I've even resorted to going to a soap factory and having them take the soap part out of the flake they make and produce for me a flake big enough that looks like snow, just for ecological reasons.